Yeah, how's it going, mate? I'm Obsidian Zenon. So I recently recorded an intro for this video before, but I had to get rid of it because the design and ideas of this antenna changed. But basically, I need a VHF and UHF antenna that is mounted on my roof for my amateur radio purposes. And I just recorded this video so I can document the build process and make a video of me testing it and using it, hopefully. So this is the general look of what the antenna I'm going to make is going to look like. This is not the design I'm going to be using because of a few things. First of all, this is using a PVC mast. The end pieces where the antennas connect are 3D printed. I do not trust 3D prints at all for that. And also this uses two pieces of coax, one coming in this way and one coming in this way, going all the way back down to the transceiver. I don't want that. I just want one piece of RG213 coax, which is low loss and quite expensive. That's why I only want one piece. I want one piece of coax going up into a diplexer and two pieces of RG58 coming out to each antenna. And I've got my own ideas about how to do that, so let me just show you. So here is the work in progress for the antenna. And there's two pipes taped together because I was drilling holes, but just think of this as one pipe for now. This is the setup, and it's going to be vertical, and it's not immediately obvious how these aluminium rods are going to be secured or connected to, so I have this little test piece from a while ago, and you see that they're secured in place using these eye bolts, which are quite large. And they've got these nuts on the outside. By the way, everything here, so these rods are aluminium and these bolts are stainless steel. Everything's either aluminium or stainless because it's going to be out in the elements. And anything on the inside, well, there's going to be probably silicone sealant around these to stop water getting in. Or just a drape over the top of stuff to stop water dripping on it. It's just water getting into stuff that I'm worried about. I'm not too worried about cobwebs or anything. But yeah, that's how I'm going to do this, and to connect to them I'm going to use these eye terminals, which are not stainless or anything, so they're going to be on the inside of the pipe, which is going to be sealed. By the way, there's going to be an end cap on the end. Here is the antenna mast I'm going to be using, which is pretty long, and this is quite confusingly called a J-pole, just like the antenna name. So there you go, and there's one of these things that you connect to the antenna, whose name has escaped from me right now. I was going to use one of those U-bolts, but I don't think there are any big enough around that I could get for a decent price, so we're just going to use this, which is fine. Yeah, so I just need to finish drilling the holes for the eye bolts, and then I can start on the rest of the stuff, including the diplexer, which I think I'm going to buy because the RF voodoo isn't in my mastered set of skills yet. Here is the semi-completed dipole. I still have to cut these pipe sections to a shorter length and obviously push these in properly and glue them. This was just a test setup and it's moving on the antenna mast. But I have tuned the VSWR for both the 2 meter and the 70 centimeter dipole. I'll just show you the 70 centimeter one. I've got the dodgy Quan Sheng because I don't want to damage my nice radios if my VSWR is really high, but we're on 440 megahertz right now, and we've got minimal VSWR, about 1.1, maybe a little bit less than that, but yeah, all good. And I will show you the inside of this because I did have to shorten the leads quite a lot. So inside here, it's very hard to tell, but you can see I've put a wooden paddle pop stick in there because I've had to cut the eye terminals. They are no longer crimped to, they are soldered directly onto, and I've cut them. Do you see how close together they are? Because when I had a wire extending past this element to this one, so I could, get the coax over here, it just did, the VSWR was way too high, never went below 3. And that's not good enough, so had to cut them really short. But now I've got two lengths of coax coming out through this T-piece in the middle. This one's the 2 meter one, the 70 centimeter one's plugged in here, and we'll run it into a diplexer, which will probably be mounted on the side here, and the cables will just go up so they don't get water into them. and then the diplexer will have the RG213 plugged into it, which will come into the house. So yeah, all good. Now that the main antenna section has been welded together, excluding the end caps, I now have two sections of RG58 coming out the bottom. But if you remember from the introduction, I only wanted to run this down one length of RG213. So I have a VHF UHF diplexer here. And the question I've been asking for a while for this project was, how was I going to waterproof this? And here's the solution that I've come up with, along with my father. So you put in a piece of 32mm pipe, which is what these are, into here, just enough so that this 32 to 50mm reducer fits right on here. And the reason I want that is because I have a 50mm pipe here with a 50mm compression coupling. Now this compression coupling is the key because it seems to perfectly fit the diplexer and keep it watertight and everything. That's why this is wet, because I was just testing it. But it means that I can disconnect the cables whenever I want and keep it all modular but still waterproof and not have to use any sealant or self-amalgamating tape, which I'm not a fan of. Now everything is welded and connected together, and it's been a few days because I put silicone sealant, roof and gutter sealant, on around these elements because they're tuned, and it takes 72 hours to dry, so that's why it's been so long. But everything is welded together now, so this is all welded except this, because this just unscrews obviously, and I will show you the inside. There's your diplexer, and yes, it was a massive pain to terminate these two pieces of RG58 so short, but they're on now, and I didn't have any UHF connectors to terminate into, so I have two BNCs and then two adapters. Doesn't really matter, but there's the UHF, and I can just get my RG213 and plug straight into there and then go into the house. So the next challenge is getting this mast on the roof and then this on the mast, which is quite high up. So the antenna is on the roof now, and so we put it up 2 days ago, and 2 days ago also just happened to be the one of the hottest days this summer, which was pretty annoying, but it wasn't actually too hard to get up if you ignore the heat. The roof seems to be affecting the voltage standing wave ratio of the 70cm element there, but it's not enough to be a problem. And there's your 2-meter element, and as you can see, the diplexer chamber faces downwards so that water can't get in, and eventually we're going to have this coax, mounted properly down this beam and then across this wire and then underground into the house. But for now I've just got it here, and I was sitting here testing it, and it seems to go quite far. On 2 meters my range is about 120 k's to a repeater quite far away, and for 70 centimeters the range is about 55 k's. So more than I could have ever hoped for, so I'll call that a success. Now we just got to get this coax into the house. There's a storm coming, so I must be brief, but as you can see, the antenna, and we're going to have a bit of bad quality here, has been nicely cable tied to the mast, and it runs down this awning, I guess, with some cable clips, and it goes along this pre-done guide wire that was here to hold this bottom foxtail cable or something before, but we didn't use it, so we just use it for the coax instead. And we've got two free spinning PVC pipe sections so that the possum hopefully doesn't want to go on this cable and goes on the bottom cable instead. And then that just comes down the TV antenna mast, down the pole, and sort of under the house where all the rest of the, just don't even look at that. And it will come up into this room. And as you can see, this comes up through the floor, and I'll remove that masking tape later. But this coax will eventually be put in some kind of distribution box that'll be mounted up here. We can't mount it here or here because these are both asbestos. We know this one's asbestos, I'm not sure about this, but this will go here into a box, and then I can do all sorts of stuff, interconnect and stuff, and maybe drill some more holes and put more coax through if I add more antennas. But I'll leave the video there because this is pretty boring. Yeah, I'd like to extend a thanks to my father for helping me, design the PVC part of the antenna and put it up on the roof and drill the hole and stuff. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. See ya!